the power of no for a successful life. There is one word that can change the direction of your life, a word so simple yet so powerful that it has the ability to determine whether you succeed or stay stuck. That word is no. Most people are afraid to use it. They fear rejection. They fear disappointing others. They fear missing out. But here's the truth: your success depends not just on what you say yes to, but more importantly, on what you have the courage to say no to. Every time you say yes to things that don't serve you, you are saying no to your goals, your time, and your own potential. The most successful people in the world are not the ones who try to do everything. They are the ones who master the discipline of saying no to distractions, to unnecessary obligations, and to anything that does not align with their vision. If you want to create a life of purpose, achievement, and true success, you must learn the power of no. Because every no you say to what doesn't matter is a yes to the future you truly deserve. No is a shield for your time and energy. Success is not about how much you do, it's about what you choose to do. Every day you are faced with decisions that either bring you closer to your goals or pull you further away. The ability to say no is what separates those who thrive from those who struggle. Think about it. How many times have you committed to something out of obligation, only to later realize it drained your time and energy? Every time you say yes to something unnecessary, you are saying no to something important. The most successful people in the world guard their time fiercely. They do not allow distractions to dictate their schedule. They understand that time is the most valuable resource. Once it's gone forever. Imagine you have a bank account, but instead of money, you are given 24 hours a day. How you spend each hour determines your success. Every unnecessary meeting, every favor done out of guilt, every task that does not align with your purpose is like spending your time on things that give you no return. But when you say no to what doesn't matter, you invest in what truly does. This is not about being selfish, it's about being intentional. Many people live their lives on autopilot, saying yes to everything because they don't want to upset others. But in doing so, they sacrifice their own dreams. Saying no is about taking control. It's about recognizing that your time and energy are limited, and if you don't protect them, no one else will. Look at the most accomplished individuals, entrepreneurs, athletes, visionaries. They are selective about where they invest their energy. They decline distractions. They turn down obligations that do not serve their purpose. They understand that every no to something irrelevant is a yes to their goals. So ask yourself, where is your time going? Are you using it to build the life you want, or are you giving it away to things that don't matter? The choice is yours. Learn to say no with confidence, and you will take back control of your time, your energy, and ultimately your future. Saying no is saying yes to your priorities. Every time you say no to something, you are actually saying yes to something else. But the real question is, what are you saying yes to? Most people live their lives trying to please everyone. They take on extra work, attend every social gathering, and agree to commitments that don't align with their goals, just because they don't want to disappoint others. But in doing so, they unknowingly disappoint themselves. Their dreams get pushed aside, their priorities take a backseat, and their progress slows down. The most successful individuals in the world are not afraid to say no. They understand that success is not about doing more, it's about doing what truly matters. They carefully choose their battles, their commitments, and their responsibilities. They don't let external pressures dictate how they spend their time. Instead, they set clear priorities and protect them at all costs. I think about an athlete training for a championship. They say no to late-night parties, unhealthy food, and distractions. Why? Because they are saying yes to their ultimate goal: winning. A successful entrepreneur says no to unproductive meetings, unnecessary tasks, and meaningless opportunities. Why? Because they are saying yes to building something valuable. This same principle applies to your life. Every time you say yes to something that doesn't serve your vision, you are sacrificing time, energy, and focus that could have been spent on something more meaningful. If you want to reach your full potential, you must learn to evaluate every request, every opportunity, and every commitment. Ask yourself, does this align with my goals? Does this bring me closer to the future I want? Is this truly important, or am I just afraid to say no? Remember, saying no is not a rejection of others, it's a commitment to yourself. It's a decision to put your dreams, your well-being, and your growth first. The moment you start saying no to distractions and low-value commitments, you will gain the time, energy, and clarity to focus on what truly matters. So be intentional. Be selective. Say no to anything that does not align with your vision, and you will finally have the space to say yes to the life you deserve. No builds self-respect and confidence. Saying no is not just about managing time, it's about building self-respect. When you constantly say yes to things that don't align with your values, you send a message to yourself that your priorities don't matter. Over time, this weakens your confidence, making you feel powerless in your own life. But when you say no to things that don't serve you, something powerful happens. You start respecting yourself. You stop compromising your goals just to please others. You begin setting boundaries, and people start respecting you more. You think about the people you admire, leaders, high achievers, and individuals who command respect. They are not afraid to say no. They are not afraid to stand firm in their decisions. They don't allow guilt or pressure to sway them because they know their worth. And because they respect themselves, others respect them too. Saying no doesn't mean you are rude or unkind. It means you are clear on what you want and unwilling to settle for less. It means you value yourself enough to put your needs first. It means you are confident in your decisions and do not need external approval to validate them. This is especially important in relationships, careers, and personal growth. If you constantly allow others to dictate how you spend your time, you will always feel exhausted and unfulfilled. But the moment you start saying no to what drains you, you reclaim your power. You feel stronger, more in control, and more confident in your ability to make decisions. So start today. The next time you feel pressured to say yes when you really want to say no, pause. Remind yourself that your time, energy, and goals are valuable. Say no with confidence and watch how your self-respect and the respect you receive from others begins to grow. No protects you from burnout and regret. Life is a constant balancing act between commitments, responsibilities, and personal well-being. In the pursuit of success, many people fall into the trap of saying yes to everything: opportunities, requests, favors, obligations, until they find themselves overwhelmed, exhausted, and struggling to keep up. This is how burnout begins. This is how dreams are delayed, passion fades, and regrets start to form. But here's the truth: you cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot give your best if you are running on fumes. You cannot achieve your highest potential if your energy is scattered in 100 different directions. That's why learning to say no is not just about discipline, it's about survival. It's about ensuring that you have the mental clarity, physical energy, and emotional strength to keep pushing forward. Burnout doesn't happen overnight. It creeps in slowly, disguised as dedication, ambition, and the desire to please others. You take on one extra task, then another. You agree to one more meeting, one more responsibility, one more favor. At first it seems manageable, but before you know it, you're drained, your motivation is gone, and the things that once excited you now feel like a burden. The most successful people understand this. They know that saying no is not a rejection, it's an act of self-preservation. They say no to unnecessary obligations so they can say yes to their well-being. They say no to distractions so they can say yes to deep, meaningful work. They say no to energy-draining commitments so they can say yes to long-term success. And think about your own life. How many times have you committed to something and later regretted it? How many times have you said yes out of guilt, only to find yourself overwhelmed and stressed? Imagine if, in those moments, you had simply said no. Imagine the time, energy, and peace of mind you would have saved. The ability to say no is not about avoiding responsibility. It's about choosing the right responsibilities. It's about prioritizing what truly matters and letting go of what doesn't. It's about understanding that rest is not laziness, it is a part of growth. When you overextend yourself, you are not helping anyone, you are only depleting yourself. But when you set boundaries and protect your energy, you become more focused, more productive, and more capable of making a real impact. So ask yourself, are you spreading yourself too thin? Are you constantly saying yes to things that don't align with your vision? Are you sacrificing your well-being just to meet the expectations of others? If so, it's time to take back control. Start saying no without guilt. Protect your energy. Guard your mental space. Prioritize your well-being. Because the stronger and more balanced you are, the more powerful and successful you will become. No opens the door to bigger and better opportunities. One of the biggest misconceptions people have is that saying yes to every opportunity will lead to success. They believe that the more they take on, the greater their chances of achieving something meaningful. But the truth is, success isn't about doing more, it's about doing the right things. Every time you say no to something that doesn't align with your goals, you create space for something better. You free yourself from distractions, from meaningless tasks, and from commitments that don't serve your future. Saying no is not about shutting doors, it's about ensuring that the right doors remain open. You think about the most successful people in any field. They are not the ones who try to do everything. They are the ones who focus. They choose their battles wisely. They do not waste time chasing every opportunity that comes their way. Instead, they filter out the noise and focus only on what truly matters. Imagine you are carrying a heavy backpack filled with rocks. Each rock represents a commitment, a responsibility, or a task you have taken on. The heavier the backpack, the slower you move. If you continue picking up more rocks, more obligations, more distractions, you will eventually collapse under the weight. But when you start removing the unnecessary rocks, when you start saying no to what doesn't serve you, you become lighter, faster, and more effective. This is the power of no. It clears your path. It gives you clarity. It allows you to focus your time and energy on the things that truly move you forward. Many people miss out on life-changing opportunities not because they don't have the potential, but because they are too busy with the wrong things. They say yes to minor tasks, so they don't have time for major breakthroughs. They say yes to pleasing others, so they neglect their own goals. They say yes to every invitation, every project, every request until they have no energy left for what truly matters. But when you learn to say no strategically, everything changes. You start making decisions with purpose. You start recognizing which opportunities are truly worth your time and which ones are just distractions. You stop settling for small wins and start focusing on big victories. Think of the most significant accomplishments in your life. Were they the result of saying yes to everything? Or were they the result of saying no to the unnecessary so you could focus on the essential? Saying no is not about rejecting opportunity, it's about refining your path. It's about ensuring that your time, energy, and talents are invested in something truly worthwhile. It's about recognizing that every no to something meaningless is a yes to something extraordinary. So don't be afraid to turn down the things that don't serve your vision. Don't be afraid to walk away from commitments that drain you. Don't be afraid to say no, because every time you do, you are one step closer to the bigger, better opportunities that will shape your future.